Hi, my name is Kelly Martin. I'm a traditionally and independently published author, and today we're going to talk about my recent reads. This is the topic that you voted on in the last video that we did last Tuesday. Actually, synopsis and my recent reads were tied. So what's going to happen in Thursday's video, I'm going to sit down, you're going to have the computer screen, and we're going to go over how to write a synopsis. So be looking forward to that. At the end of this video, we're going to have the 3 topics you can vote on for next week. So be sure to stay tuned for that. Now, looking back over my videos, I have not done a what I have read anything since March. So I've read 10 books since March. I don't know if that's a lot of books. It's probably not. And I read some interesting books. Some books that were not exactly on brand for Kelly Martin. I say Kelly Martin like it's the Kelly Martin brand. Kelly Martin Books brand. They're not all horror, let's just say. The first book I read at the time was called The Lumberjack's Secret Guest. I'm sorry I'm looking down a lot. I kind of have to today. This is what it looks like now. You can see the setup in the thing. It's called Cabin by the Creek, and it's written by Elena Johnson. And let me tell you a little bit about it. He hasn't left his cabin in the woods in a long time, and he's not keen on giving up on the woman who keeps trying to take his land away until she shows up one night in danger. It's about a guy named Phoenix who lives in a house that he rarely leaves, and a woman who keeps trying to take it away from him. And then she gets chased by her boyfriend. They have to go, and he has to hide her in the cabin. You know how things happen. Romance ensues. There's some intrigue. There's some thriller aspects of it. I really liked this book. I like Elena Johnson's books. They're easy to read. They're quick reads. They're interesting reads. So I really like her books. And now it's called Cabin by the Creek. Now, the second book I read, let me get it over here so I can show you. At one time, it was called The Billionaire's Secret Flame, and it's by Elena Johnson too. Now, it's called Business on the Bay. I know you can't really see it that well because there's you see a little bit better there? Over here. There's a glare, I'm sorry. He owns the biggest business in Forbidden Lake, which is where all these happen, is in Forbidden Lake, and they're brothers and sisters. And the top floor penthouse overlooks the bay. She's his right hand in the office and his biggest crush. Will he tell her secrets he never told anyone, or let their chance at love wither away? This is the sister of the boy in the last book, and she has worked for Tanner Global for a long time, and she has a crush on the boss. He has a crush on her, but things happen and they can't very well be together at that moment. And you know, the relationship happens, and again, I loved it because it's Elena Johnson. She writes wonderful romance books. So yeah, I loved that book. Next, I read one of my absolute favorite Regency authors ever is Nadine Millard. And she wrote Protecting the Princess. It's book 2 of the series. I could not wait for this book to come out. It was something that I had been looking forward to since she started counting it down. I love her Regencies. I love her books. Nadine Millard is a wonderful author. Princess Harriet is growing up tired of her she's growing tired of her pampered, privileged lifestyle. The only thing worse than her gilded cage of a royal life is the overprotective nature of her brother, the Crown Prince. When the palace is suddenly thrown into turmoil, Harriet takes the opportunity to run away and branch out on her own. Only the person that she meets that she thinks is, just happened to run into, it's actually somebody her brother paid to watch out for her. Next, I read a craft book, and it's the writing gals discuss writing to market. Because the reason I read this, and the reason I've been reading so many sweet romances, is because Marty Kay writes sweet romances. thought I might need a new, fresher perspective on them. I read them a lot anyway, but you know. By Judy Corey, Victorine, I can't say her last name, Anne Marie Meyer, and Michelle Pennington. This is how you find your market. It can be any market. It can be sweet romance. It can be horror. It can be anything. And how to decide how to write to market and the pros and cons of writing to market. Some people don't like writing to market, and some people don't like to read books that appear that they're written to market. So it's a pros and cons book. It's a craft book. If you're looking for a craft book, this is a good one. I read an arc this last 2 or 3 months actually, of a book called Belle of the Night. And here is, it's on Goodreads. It's not come out yet. I know you can't really see that too well. I'm sorry. Belle of the Night is, let me see if I can get to the synopsis. I can't get to the synopsis. Anyway, Belle of the Night is a book from Monster Ivy Publishing. It's about a girl named Belle, and she is basically a prostitute in New Orleans. She's been bought by this lady that runs a brothel, I suppose we'll say. And then there's this preacher who comes to New Orleans to try to save everybody, I suppose. And he ends up at the brothel not knowing it's a brothel, and then he finds out what it is, and that's kind of funny. Anyway, he starts a church. He invites the ladies to come to the church, and love ensues, and misunderstandings ensues, and it's just a really awesome book. I read it. I had an ARC, and I read it on the computer, which you know is not very comfortable sometimes, and I read it in like an hour and a half. I could not stop reading. I couldn't stop to see what was going on. There are some rough scenes in the book, so if you are kind of, it's a clean romance. It's not necessarily a sweet romance. Then my husband had me watch Star Wars, the last 3. I'd seen all the first 6, but I never watched the last 3. So he had me to watch the last 3. So I ended up buying and reading the novelization. There's Kylo Ren. If you watch this channel, you know I have a small fangirl of Kylo Ren. So I read Star Wars The Last Jedi by Jason Fry, the extended edition, because I thought it might give some more, you know, stories or some more context of what happened in the movie. It did. It had a few more scenes between Kylo and Rey, which were good. I liked it. I don't have a lot to say about it, but I liked it. I also read Black Moon Rising by Frankie Rose. Now, the reason I bought this book was because I saw somebody say that it was a published, basically a Kylo Ren Rey fanfiction, just with changed names, and they are not wrong, and I absolutely loved it. I loved it so much. It's not clean. It's not a clean book. So we went from sweet romances to not sweet romances, but whoo, this one's so good. I have a lot of, I think I'm like everybody. I think everybody has like a varied taste of what they like to read. This was awesome. It ends on a cliffhanger, and I don't think she's going to finish the series or write another book. I'm not sure. So if that bothers you, don't start it. But yeah, I liked it. I also read some books with my street team. So if you want to be a part of it, the link's in the description. It's called Nerds Unite, Kelly Martin's awesome team. can't think of a title or a name of the group that I like. So we keep going back to that. Anyway, so we did a 5-week read-along. I didn't finish all the books that I had started for the weeks, but this is one I did finish. It's The Open Door and Other Haunting Tales by Charlotte Riddle. The Open Door is a ghost story. We're back to the ghost stories about a door that nobody can get to close. It's a very simple premise, and it's cool and it's scary, and I really, really liked it. So this is a classic horror book, so I would recommend it if you ever want to read some classic horror. Speaking of classic horror, I also read in part of our readathon The Woman in Black by Susan Hill. Is this not the prettiest book cover you've ever seen in your entire life? Oh my gosh, I love it so much. Let me turn this back on so we have some more light. There we go. Oh my goodness. So it's a ghost story. It is a very much a ghost story. It is a classic ghost story. It's awesome. It's about a woman who dies. A lawyer has to go and deal with her estate. Now her estate is in the marshes of this very weird place, and you can only get to it at certain times because the tide comes in and you get blocked, and there's a woman in black who's seen around, and it's creepy and it's cool and it's awesome, and there's a dog, and oh my gosh, I love this book. I've not seen the movie. I don't know if the movie goes along with the book very well, but the book is amazing. If you love any kind of atmosphere horror, gothic horror, which is my favorite, ghost stories, definitely pick this up, and it's so pretty. I also read A Love-Hate Thing by Whitney de Grandison, I think that's how you say it. This was the last book that I've read, and I picked it up because it said it was The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air meets the OC. I was a huge fan of the OC back in the day. She even thanks the creator of the OC in the acknowledgments to Josh Schwartz, because the OC, my #1 favorite show of all time. So there we go. It's about a guy named Trice, and he was shot, and then he had to come to live in a rich part of California to live with a group of people who he was acquaintances with when he was younger. So yeah, I'm not going to tell you anything else about it, but if you've seen the OC, this is a good book. Those are the 10 books that I read since March. Tell me in the comments if you've read any of these books, or what was your favorite book that you read in the last 2 or 3 months. We need to talk about the poll for next week's video. Remember, on Thursday we're going to have a video, because I do videos every Tuesday and Thursday. This Thursday I'm going to do a video where I'm going to talk about how to write a synopsis, so be sure you stick around for that one. We need to decide what video you want to see for next week. Let me get my list so I can read it off to you. Number 1, do you want to see the 5 horror books that you need to read, which would be so much fun to film, I'm just saying. Number 2, do you want to see why first lines are important to your books? And number 3, my favorite writing videos on YouTube that give great advice for free. Tell me in the comments which one you want to see, and the winner, the one that gets the top votes, will be next week's video. Alright guys, I make videos every Tuesday and Thursday. One of those videos is something that you vote on in the poll, so be sure to vote in the comments. Thank you so much for all the love that last Thursday's video got on the 5 author tubers you need to watch under 1,000 subscribers. I'll link it right here. Just be sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you know on Tuesday and Thursday when I upload a new video. Could be some in between, but definitely Tuesday and Thursday. Press the like if you like this video. I would appreciate it very much, and I will see you in the next video on Thursday.